I'll be talking about MySQL Connectors. MySQL Connectors are a development tool that allows you to connect a project into a MySQL database. They are available in many languages. As I am using a MySQL database for my project, these connectors are featuring fairly prominently. A little bit about MySQL. MySQL is lightweight, and has good scalability. This means that it won't bog down your project while still allowing for a lot of data and a decent amount of traffic to go through the database. This makes it work really well for smaller or medium-sized projects. However, for the bigger projects, it just doesn't have the same robustness as other programs. So using it really depends on the needs of your project. There's also open source parts of the MySQL community. That means that there's a lot of growing that is happening consistently. Growing includes the connector types. There are many connectors that the people of working with MySQL have made. These include connectors for C# and Visual Basic, Node.js, Python, C++. However, there are also ones that the community have made, things like PHP and Perl and Ruby. Pretty much, if you want to connect to any language, there is a connector available. Connecting to MySQL is the first thing you need to do when you're starting to work with these connectors. Testing that connection and making sure that you can run the basic connection string helps you to get a basis for working with the connector. In order to do that, you need to have your server information, your username, your password. In both the examples on this slide, it is also connecting directly into a database. That is not necessary. Depending on the needs of your program, you can connect into a database after creating that initial connection. It just depends on what is needed and whether or not more than one database is being used. The other thing that is important is that you close that connection down so that you don't have any open connection problems with security or anything like that. These examples are in C# and Python. You see in Python you have to very explicitly close it, while you can do a using for when working with the C#. Also allow for complete CRUD functionality in your program. The examples on this slide are in C#. You have insert, retrieve, and create. However, you can also very explicitly update or delete. It all depends on the needs of your program and what exactly you are looking for the functionality to do. Another thing to note is that the syntax of the SQL query is the same as if you were working in something like Workbench. It's the biggest difference is that it is being sent through that API, either with the information or pulling information back. Since MySQL needs those queries, those keywords, select, from, insert, create, drop, delete, it needs that same syntax. If your syntax is incorrect, it won't push all the way through and give the results you want. Another thing that this allows you to do is it allows you to put variables into those queries. In fact, in a lot of places it is encouraged to use variables in the queries because it allows you to more dynamically add or retrieve information from the database. And that's MySQL Connectors.